What if I told you that greatness isn't something to attain, it's something that's already inside of you? Do you believe that? Do you question that? Do you wrestle with that fact? It's not an opinion, it's a fact. Greatness allows you to expand, but you need to have the posture for greatness. You need to have the ability to receive it in its fullness. And its fullness isn't all daisies, rainbows, and arches. It comes with great sacrifice. What are you willing to do? Shout out to Rihanna. Because what are you willing to put down? What are you willing to change? What are you willing to move in order to make things shake for you? I always been saying something has to give. In this life, something has to give in order for you to get the result that you want. I don't know what your result is. I don't know what your goal is. I don't know what your purpose is. But I do know that only great things can come from trying. Only great things can come from exploring a new part of you that hasn't been discovered yet. That part of you that you fear. Do you fear the fear, or do you fear the potential? Oh, so basically, before we even get into how to have the posture for greatness, we need to know what greatness even means. A noun, the quality or state of being important, notable, or distinguished. That's subjective. That could be in anything. Greatness to me could be something completely different to you. And that's for you to discover. No one else can tell you what greatness is. You might learn from other people, but it forms and molds into your own life perspective. Greatness is a big, wide spectrum of things. But in all areas of that, you are required to be an active participant of your narrative. Think of life like a game of chess. Recently, I've been interested in the psychology of chess, how it works, and it's more of a logical game than it is a practical game, because it requires you to think ahead and think not only with your emotions, but think with intention of where that next piece is gonna make the other piece move on the opposite side. So every cause, every reaction has an action. To get to point A to point B, you had to move in a certain direction. And if you're letting someone else dictate the pieces for you, is it really your game? Surely not. Surely not. So by you taking back ownership of your freedom, of your ability to be a person, to move, to speak, to act, to behave, to change, it all comes from you. Other people can help in that process, but ultimately you've got to want the change. You've got to want different, or else the same will keep coming to you. If you do an automatic order that comes every Thursday of vegetables, guess what? Vegetables is gonna come every week. Why would you expect anything different? Change the order of things and have the audacity to be who you are in your fullness. Hiding layers of yourself. Obviously, not every single part of you needs to be revealed to everyone. Have discernment. But with that, you are the center. The things that you are seeing is coming from your eyeballs, no one else's, and no one else can interpret it the way you can interpret it. It's your life. It is your life. Another thing I got to say about that is that you have to sacrifice the feeling of safety, familiarity, and past ideologies. Yes, they got you to this stage, which is why you can't really regret them, but be a catalyst to the change. You see, if you're playing a chess game and every single time you're making the same moves, you become predictable. You become easy to read. Just open it up and you already know what you're gonna expect. But by you shedding away the parts that no longer align, the parts that are no longer benefiting you, you are making new potions. That version of you that's changing is a version that's never existed before, and she has a right to live, a right to exist, a right to thrive. And you're not always going to make the right decision, but you learn from those decisions. You learn from the moves that you make, whether they're calculated, whether they come from intuition. You feel it in your heart. And you have to be critical about things. You have to actually analyze exactly what it is that you are putting in your body, what it is that you're believing in, and why. Critical thinking. Even if you read a book and it's from the most established author ever, question that, analyze that, bring out your notebook. Why do you like that certain quote? Why do you feel like it resonates with you in this present moment, in this present time? Like, there's so many different situations, so many different topics that are going on in the world right now, and everyone can have their own opinion, but what's your opinion? And if you choose not to comment on that, let it be for a good reason. Like, what's the point in having a voice if you, when it's time to speak up, you stay quiet? You are actually doing yourself a disservice, because the opportunity was there, but you didn't take it. So by you repositioning your role as a creation in your environment, you're able to attain new things. Like, let's say if you use a chess piece, you knowing what your role is already makes you way more advantage, a bigger advantage than someone who doesn't know and is just freestyling. You get what I'm trying to say? A pawn knows they can only move in this direction. A queen knows that they can fluctuate and go with the vibes and still be tactful, still be very calculated with where you're going. You might not even know where your goal is, but you know that your goal is to not stay the same. Nothing change if nothing change. And by you doing that, you are recognizing your strengths and weaknesses. For example, for me, I've been going on solo dates. I've been going out to different places on my own. Like, most recently, I went to this drinking bar, restaurant type of vibe. I didn't mean to, but I walked in there and I was kind of like, this is a little bit scary. Nobody here looks like me. Everybody's here with people. And a part of me didn't even want to stay. But I was like, how am I going to get comfortable with being alone if I don't go out there and be alone and fight the temptation to run away from myself? And I did learn so much about myself just from that one single trip, because I learned that I can do it and I will do it again and again and again. And each time you do it, it becomes easier. Each time you do it, you're combating the cage that traps you in, your own mental cage that you put yourself in, where you feel like that's not possible. It is possible. And just by you doing the thing that you thought you couldn't do, You're surviving the death of who you used to be. Bye-bye to the old you. Who is she? I don't know. That's for you to define. But there does come grief with that, because you're looking in a reflection of yourself, and it's someone that looks the same but internally is different. Other people have to align with that, and it can be isolation that comes with that, because not everyone's gonna understand, not everyone's gonna see the vision before it comes into fruition. I like that word, fruition, because it's like fruits, you know. A seed was once, no, a fruit was once a seed, and it had a whole process to get to that stage. May not have been linear. There may have been days where you was planting that seed thinking, is anything ever gonna sprout up? But consistency, dedication is the water that plants that seed. So don't wake up today and be like, okay, period, I'm gonna change, I'm on a new wave. And then tomorrow it's like, I'm not feeling it no more. It's not about what you're feeling. It's about the purpose. Because if you move by if let's go back to the chess analysis. I was watching the Queen's Gambit, and this woman called Beth, she was an orphan. She was living in an orphanage. She lost both her parents. It was a few years before she got adopted by someone. And during that time, she picked up on how to play chess. And she became a renowned chess player across her nation, and then moved on to play with other people. But within that time, she got to learn so much about herself, because she realized, you know what, there are some things that I'm being quite stubborn about. My method, my way of learning, my way of moving these chess pieces. And a lot of the times she didn't lose, because she had the inner knowing that she wasn't playing to lose, she was playing to solidify her win that she already had in her mind. And that's the difference. When you're moving with the intention of winning, the outcome is already different, because you're not playing a gamble like, oh, if I lose. Of course, losses are part of the win, but that doubt, that confliction that you have with yourself, where it's like, oh, but what if this doesn't go well? Or you've got the foot in the door, but you're not fully walking in. It's like you're expecting tragedy. If you're expecting tragedy, when it comes, you won't even be surprised. It's like, and when a win comes, you might not feel deserving of that win, but you deserve that win. And yeah, the rare instances where the Beth character did lose was when she was leading with emotion, when she got intimidated by the opponent, and she let her fall, if that makes sense. So there was this character, he was like the top chef guy. That's a chef. Gordon Ramsay. The top player, like everybody in the tournament already knew about him. He was very, very smart, very sophisticated, very reserved. And the fact that she couldn't read him straight away kind of crumbled her confidence. And when you have the audacity to come in like you own it, even though that may not be what the reality is presenting to you, you already exude a different energy. Because it was crazy to the fact that she was a woman in the 60s choosing to pursue that life of chess, but she did it anyway. And that's what I'm trying to say. The fact that you're already trying to put that energy into action, that faith into action, already proves that you're winning, because you're actively doing it, you know? And one last thing that I really wanted to point out is that to begin that, you might be waiting for a feeling, you might be waiting for a time, you might be waiting for a certain confirmation, whether that be from a person, whether that be from an activity, whatever the case may be. The feeling of being ready is never going to come, because the fear of failing and the fear of not achieving what you want to achieve is always going to be there. It's what you combat it with, the action of doing it. So I'm just saying, life is a game of chess, and you are an active participant in the game. What are you gonna do with those moves? What are you gonna do with that mobility? Are you gonna stay still, or are you gonna make it do something? Something has to give. I forgot to introduce myself, but if you made it all the way to the end, I'd like to say my name is Gisela. I'm 21 years old. I'm actually turning 22 in 15 days. So, oh my gosh. That's a big factor to why I'm even trying to encourage you, because I'm also trying to encourage myself. When I was thinking of what to make this video about, I was kind of stuck on what direction to take it in, but what better direction to take it in than what I'm going through, my real life scenario, putting my works into action. So yeah, I'm so grateful that you're on this journey with me, and I hope that you implement my guidance into your own life and see the fruition of that. Thank you so much for watching.